I have a story I would like to share with you. This story took place October of 1985. My wife and my 3 children and I lived in what's known as Bush, Alaska, not close to civilization. That particular year, for whatever reason, it got extremely cold in October. Normally, it wouldn't get cold until December. So we had a boat there at our home. It was cold enough to start making ice on the lake. It started to freeze. And so my wife, every fall, we would take that big boat across the lake and have it drug up on the beach for the winter and then put it back in the water in the spring. Well, my wife, Dolores, was afraid that the boat would freeze in at our place. She decided she's going to take the boat. So she started out with my 3 children, 3 young children. My daughter, Carrie, 4.5. My oldest boy, Jess, 3.5. And my youngest boy, Jason, 1.5 years. Well, she didn't make it too far. She made it maybe 3/4 of a mile or maybe a little further. But Dolores was taking our welded aluminum skiff and breaking ice ahead of that wooden boat because ice and wood didn't mix very well. And somehow she fell in and ended up freezing to death. Well, my children were on board, and they were on board for, I believe it was 4 days and 3 nights before they could get to them. Anybody, my wife's grandma could see the boat out there, and at night she could see a light on in the cabin of the boat, but no activity during the daytime. The point, I guess, of my story is I blame God for that. It was his fault, and I was mad. And I turned my back. I said, no more. No, I don't want anything to do with you ever again. Not that I had at that time much to do with him anyway. I was pretty much walking not with my God. And it took a few years for him to draw me back. But he did shelter my children. Things could have been worse. I could have lost my kids. And then I probably would have ended my life. That would have been too much for me, not being close to God. And it took a few years, but God never turned his back on me. He didn't turn away. He stayed close to me, though I didn't know it. He eventually drew me back into his arms. And so that would be my message, I guess, today. God doesn't cause us harm. We cause us harm. He didn't make my wife decide to go take that boat across the lake that day. She decided to do it. God does bless us, though, and he has blessed me so many times in my life. I just can't count them. But that would be my point, that God will never give up on us, and he will never desert us. His love for us is greater than we possibly know. So thank you for your time.